Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. I'm in the PRS booth here at Winter NAMM 2020 with our friend Tim Pierce. It's great to see you.
Good to see you again.
I'm holding the guitar, I'm holding the mic, and I'm not going to let the guitar go.
Okay, I'll grab it. If it's about to fall, I'm your wingman.
That's awesome. These are actually two cool new guitars that PRS is coming out with, right?
Yes, two. Yeah, very affordable, made in America McCarty guitar. I'm excited. I want this one, but I think it's a Sweetwater. I have to buy it from you.
That's right. And I've got a 35th anniversary SE, which feels great, man. We were just sitting here noodling in totally different keys, but man, they both sound incredible, just unplugged.
Yeah, acoustically, yeah. They pop.
Is that something you look for in an instrument?
Absolutely. You pick up an electric guitar, you know, without an amp, whether it has a vibe and whether it resonates. Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Well, I know we've chatted about it a little bit before, but tell us again, what is your connection to PRS? I know you've been playing some of the guitars, right?
Paul, about 10 years ago, he sought me out because I was very busy in the studios, and he wanted a studio guitar player to represent the brand more than he had. He had guys in Nashville, but not in L.A. So I invited him to a session, and we just hit it off, and we became friends to the point where I really know Paul, and I don't know people at the company that well. I know Paul. I talk to Paul all the time. We talk on the cell. We argue sometimes. He's a wonderful guy. He's always trying to make his product better. The thing about PRSs for me is I always played Les Pauls, but I always had trouble keeping them in tune. So these guitars, you know it. They play themselves. I can play faster on a PRS, smoother, more accurate than any other guitar, and they stay in tune, which for me is great because sometimes I like to hit the guitar really, really hard, and that G string on a Gibson goes out of tune. So nothing against Gibson, but PRS is home for me.
And you've talked a little bit about, I saw a recent video actually where you got one of your bucket list guitars that you had been searching for, and you were talking a little bit about that, about the idiosyncrasies and the character that you sometimes can get with a vintage instrument, but where these really shine is that consistency and playability.
Yeah, if I really want to impress and play fast and be myself, I'll use a PRS. The guitar we were talking about was a vintage Gibson, and what I said in the video is that it fights me. Now, in that fight, there are some good things that can happen because hearing a guitar player fight with an instrument a little bit can be an interesting thing, but I don't want it all the time. And this is more home. This is like a Ferrari.
Right. Is there a particular PRS model that you gravitate toward?
I have two of them. I have a hollow 594 and a solid 594. They're both double cuts. The hollow has 10s on it, and it's more a 335 killer. The other one has 9s on it, and it's more a solo shred machine. I don't really shred, but if I can get close to it, it's going to be on that guitar. I brought it with me to this event so I can use it for all my appearances.
Nice. So you actually put different gauges of strings on your guitars. You don't just say I'm a 10 guy or I'm a 9 guy.
No, and there's a conversation some people are having right now, and Rick Beato's a friend of mine, and he's starting to put some 8s on his guitars. I'm going to try it just to see what that's like again. I think I did that when I was a teenager. So I use 9s for soloing, 10s for rhythm generally, and they're interchangeable, but the preference is 9s for soloing. I'm going to try 8s now because apparently 8s hit the amplifier in a good way. There's some discussion about that right now, so check that out.
And we know some of those players who use really light strings, Billy Gibbons and people like that. It's not like they have wimpy tone.
No, and it's kind of ironic, it's kind of a paradox that some of the heaviest, most aggressive players, Eddie Van Halen among them, it's light as a butterfly and really light strings. Right. Yeah.
So let's shift over and talk a little bit about social media. Obviously, you have a huge presence there. You've been doing it for a while. And one of the things that always impresses me with your channel is that you're always coming up with great topics. There's always something really of interest there. There's nothing that's just fluff.
Well, it gets harder and harder because the YouTube audience is more demanding and the competition is greater and it's more crowded. You know that better than anybody. So I try and come up with a concept that'll grab people's attention, and then I may stretch that concept in the thumbnail and title, just push it a little bit, but I always try and be honest about what's representative. The trick for me is to be myself and also find something that the audience is interested in. And I borrow from my other YouTube friends. One of the things I love about being here is they're all here. And I had 4 of them over to my house yesterday. We all sort of borrow ideas from each other. And, if you get a new guitar and you're in love with it, that's a great concept, but it has to be yours. You have to make it yours. You can only be authentic. That's the key. You know that too. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. You can't fake it, right? Because you can see right through that. You can see right through that. So is there something here at the show that you're excited to check out?
More than the gear at NAMM, it's the people. There are people here that I've had relationships for 30 years with, And then there are people I've had relationships with for 10 years with. And then new YouTubers that I've just met. So I love the gear, but it's more the people. I'm here for the people.
My last question for you, with your long association with PRS, and you've played so many of the models and checked things out, is there something that you would ask for in a Tim Pierce signature PRS?
Okay, it would be probably a single cut. It would be a bit lighter than some of the PRSs, and it might have a plain top on it. Yeah, so how about that? So the signature Tim Pierce would be more that, I think, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll see that someday.
I hope so. You've given me a good idea.
There you go. Thanks, Tim, man. It's always great to see you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
See you soon. Bye-bye.